I said to David or something, how many people has your dad killed? And I thought, well, it's a question, isn't it? And it's a question you have to answer. I mean, none is the answer. Not
returning the pain, underline another detail of the triumph and pain. All the heroes, all the villains, no mistakes that were made. Build a story in your head, what you can never take away. Come get the latest, hear the greatest story ever told. You can't debate it, can't erase it. We will never fall. We're here to stay. But read the chapters till the end of day. We're here to tell it all. Welcome to the Chronicles.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and thems, we are back with a very special interview. If you cast your minds back to April this year, we spoke to the wonderful Will Scarr and David Bartolome, and they told us about a wonderful man who we just needed to hear more about. This week's guest is a man who was demanding October, but we didn't want to wait till then, so we had to settle late August. He's the patriarch of the Bartolome dynasty, a man of mystery, music, and spandex. Some know him as Big Tone, some know him as Dad, and others simply know him as a hero. Put your hands together and join us as we bring you the Chronicles of Tony Bartolome.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. You've overdone the introduction, I think. None of it's true. I am his dad.
There you go. We got one thing right. That's all that matters. There you go.
1 out of 9. That's not bad. Yeah, pretty good.
That's as far as it goes.
Thanks, guys. It's been brilliant.
But before we get into all the good stuff, Tony, how's your day been?
Well, about 24 hours.
Nice. I dropped myself right in there, didn't I?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm retired, but it's busy. It's busy at the minute because we're busy
people keep
DIYing and all that stuff,
I keep getting told, because I work in optics, so I see a lot of, generations, shall we say, and everyone that's like just retired or has been retired.
I mean, I see a lot. Yeah, well done. Okay.
I was trying to think of a nice careful way around it, Tony. That's why.
Yeah, don't make a split for yourself. That's it.
They tell me that apparently being retired is busier than working.
Well, it depends how hard you work. So, being retired is busier because the management here is not like the management I used to work for.
Okay.
It's different management.
But it's stricter, if I say. Was it?
Well, years ago, I used to be my wife's manager. But since I've retired, I'm now reporting to her. And she's getting her own back.
Role reverse. I love it.
Yeah. So, I still have deadlines, and I still miss them.
So, Tony, how we like to start these things is we like to take them right back to childhood. Talk about what you wanted to be when you were growing up in those formables. What did young Master Bartolome want to be when he was growing up?
A bit taller. Well, I was quite short when I was a baby. But what did I want to be when I grow up? Well, that's a good question. I can't remember, to be honest. I think originally, funnily enough, I wanted to do something scientific, like forensic science or something like that. And I didn't achieve that. So I did something scientific in the end because I became a computer programmer and software engineering from there on in. But I don't think I didn't have the usual, I want to be a Premiership football player or, row the Atlantic or anything like that. I think I just grew up as a child and sort of a journeyman, just see what popped out.
That's exactly what I was like. When I was growing up, I was like, chef, maybe, don't know. Then did it, and I was like, absolutely hated it. It was a bad idea. Just whatever comes along, really.
Well, sort of, yeah. I mean, in the days when I was a programmer, it was quite new. It's not like today, where kids of 5 are programming computers. We were specialist people in those days, and there weren't that many colleges around or universities that did computer programming, and it was all boring stuff. It's all commercial stuff in those days. Then I moved on to more technical stuff, let's say, in the aerospace industry. So, but that kind of what I wanted to do when I left school, put it that way, because it was new, and it wasn't something that everybody was doing, and it was difficult to get into as well. So I was lucky. So I was fortunate.
So what did you actually enjoy doing growing up then?
The usual things, making a nuisance of myself, giving the parents bad time, kicking next door neighbour's cat, stuff like that.
Oh,
I don't like cats, but I'm a dog man. But no, I didn't kick the cat at all. I used to be. I remember my dad bought me a guitar, an acoustic guitar, when I was about, I don't know, I'd be about 8 or 9, something like that, which kind of got me into music. Now, in those days, music was all about, you had a tape deck, a reel-to-reel tape deck, and it's not like today where you can do anything on a mobile phone. In those days, it was magnetic tape on a big reel. So I used to plonk along with the guitar to that and record it and stuff like that. So that got me into music. I played football as well. So and I was kind of half decent, so that was okay. But music, I didn't want to be a musician as such, but I liked music for what it was. Kind of gets it out of yourself, takes you to another place, relaxing. But it was, well, in those days, if you look back, it was hard work because you didn't have all the technology that we've got today, and that's the key to it, really. So we had a band, a small band that played in, and that's how David kind of got into music, because I had a guitar, and when he'd been about 13, something like that, 12 or 13. I taught him the classic "Smoke on the Water" because everybody.
Yeah.
And and a few status quo things, because you only need 4 chords if you want to impress. So that's how we got David involved in the music side of it. And then he went on to rock band, which was brilliant because that gave him coordination, got his fingers going, and he had a drum kit as well, so that got him into the drumming bit of it, because he's a very good drummer, David, very good drummer. He's a very good guitarist actually as well, to be fair. I mean, he's self-taught, and same as his brother Paul, self-taught guitarist, but they're extremely good, much better than I ever was. So that's what I did when growing up, was music, playing football, sport, stuff like that. But yeah, David kind of grew up in the same way. He was a very good football player, and I used to be a coach because I was an FA qualified coach for.
Oh wow!
So for the under 17s, I could coach them, and I think we coached from about the age of 7 upwards till he was about 16. And then kids of that age, they, it's like they find girls, they find all sorts of things, and football. Although David, to be fair, was a good player, and he said he wanted to go on a bit further if he could. But yeah, so he grew up a similar way. Music was his first love, and but he did do a lot of football as well. And he was a very good player, very good goalkeeper, David. Actually, very good goalkeeper. I think he played every position on the pitch. Funny enough.
Nice.
But that's it. Sorry, Jody.
No, you carry on.
Okay. No, I was going to say. So he had opportunities that I had opportunities. I had good parents, and I had a lot of opportunities, which was great. I had a good childhood, and that does make a difference when you're growing up. And in those days, there was no social media. There was no things. If you wanted to bully somebody, you have to send them a letter, and then you get a response a couple of days later. So you couldn't do this. This social media didn't exist. So it was a lot easier growing up, I think, for kids in those days. If you wanted to tell somebody you didn't like them, you just had to go and visit them.
Yeah,
Which is harder.
It's a lot more effort than it is these days.
No, it's
Yeah,
more effort. You
yeah,
have to
way
travel
more
and
effort.
everything. Yeah.
You were saying like you got that acoustic guitar when you were younger. Was this a case of like I want to learn to play guitar? Was it someone just going, "Hey, have a guitar, Tony"?
No, I can't remember how that came about. I mean, but, I was into music anyway because I used to listen to music a lot. And in those days, in the very early days, and this shows you how old I am, we didn't have even Radio 1 in those days. It was pirate radio. So you could pick it up on sort of portable radios and things like that. But I was always into music and I always bought records and stuff like that. And then I think my dad thought that, well, I'll give him a chance, give him a guitar and see what he makes of it, which is great. And then I got an electric guitar from a friend of mine who played in a band. So took that up as well. So that's how that came about. But it's kind of, we learned, my wife and I, we learned, you bring your kids up, you give them every opportunity, no matter what it is. Because David, he's done horse riding, he's done all sorts of things, and he didn't like that so much. He dropped that off. But he and his brother have had sort of all the opportunities that we could give them at the time, and then they find their own way through. And with David and Paul, they both went down the music route. So that's how they happened. But yeah, I mean, I say good parents, and anything I wanted to do, they would, if they could afford it, they would let me do it. And I think that counts for a lot.
It does. You always find it goes two ways when it comes to like expressing yourself with art and music. Because like some parents are like, do it, it's amazing, follow your dreams. And you got others that can be like, no, go down the mines, get a real job. So
No,
get the factories.
Well, I never had that because I didn't want to be a professional. I didn't want to go into entertainment. I mean, I didn't want to be a clown in a circus. I could be a clown anywhere. I didn't want to be in the circus, but so I didn't do that. And my parents never sort of said to me, "Well, you've got to get a job." I mean, I'd already sorted that out by going to college and going to computer programming bit. I wasn't steered towards it by my parents. I was left to my own devices to do it. So that was good. And the same in a way with David and the kids. We kind of let them do more or less what they want to do. If you make mistakes, you learn by it, and then you kind of don't do it again with a bit of luck. But
Absolutely,
luckily for me, I mean, I went into programming, and that was my career for the rest of my working life as a software engineer, and eventually project management and all that kind of stuff.
So, like, because obviously, computer-wise,
Yeah.
I imagine obviously they were just coming into the forefront a little bit more. So, when you were actually at school before that became like a thing, or was that a thing they taught you in schools? Was there any other direction you were going in before that came in?
No, there was. We didn't have. I mean, if you talk to our kids now, they don't believe. They still can't believe we had Bakelite phones. It's all mobile phones. Well, we didn't have laptops. We didn't have mobile phones. We didn't have anything. In fact, I think we had what in those days was known as a dumb screen, something that would, and the computer used to be, sort of an area the size of Wembley Stadium, where you could do some work, which you can now do on a mobile phone. So in those days, it was new, it was exciting, but when you compare it with what we can do today with what we've got, it doesn't compare. I mean, we had punch cards and paper tape and stuff that we had to feed in, and that's how we had full of holes. It was, and that's how it was in those days. But it was new, so schools didn't do it because there wasn't anything in the curriculum apart from maybe maths, which would have steered you down a particular route. As it turned out, my maths teacher was a bit of a sod, to be honest, but he was a computer programmer before he went into teaching. And I didn't find that out until we went to a parents' evening where he was telling my parents when we were talking about what I wanted to do, and he said, and then we found out he'd done some computer programming. But no, schools didn't do it in those days. Nowadays, 5-year-olds are programming away, doing all sorts of things, which is okay. But I think it's harder. In my day, when I left college, I had at least 5 job opportunities in IT, what I would call IT. Whereas these days, it's very difficult for kids.
Yeah.
So in my day, it was a lot easier. I feel sorry for them. I really do these days. It's hard. It's hard. What with social media and everything, it doesn't make it easy. But them getting a job, doing what they want to do, getting a house, and all the rest of it, so hard, so difficult. So I had it easy compared to them.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I've got young kids, and it's like there's just so many options and so many different things out in the world. Now you're just like, I don't know where to start with guiding you. I'll be completely honest.
No, I wouldn't
It's
know what to do
scary.
now. I mean, at any time, well, even with a degree now, because I never went to university. I didn't get a degree. I went to college. You got qualifications for that. But even in those days, a degree kind of meant something a bit more than it means almost today. And I had A levels, which again was meaningful, more meaningful than they seem to be today. I'm not saying they're worthless, but I just think it's hard for kids. Kids who've got a degree are finding it very difficult to even get a job in their local supermarket.
Yep.
And that's the problem. They can't just say, "Oh, I want a degree in either biochemistry or something," and go off and do that. It's not that easy. And because you're interviewed by AI these days anyway, that's another issue, which is making life very easy for people. Very difficult. Yeah. And AI is another thing. I mean, AI is taking over jobs in computer programming, and all that sort of stuff. AI is doing it. You don't need a programmer anymore.
I never thought of it like that. Yeah, I imagine AI is being used for a lot of programming and
Yeah.
things now.
I mean,
Yeah.
someone's got to program the AI. But programming is very easy these days because it's all done by menu-driven stuff. In my day, you had to sit there and write it all out on a piece of paper before you coded it up. But so it's made life easier for people, in that you can program machines very easily. But now AI is taking over that job, so that makes it very difficult for kids who want to get into IT, unless they're into AI in particular. And the other thing about AI, while we're on the subject, is for musicians like Paul and David, it's difficult now. If they write music, people automatically say, "Oh, I bet AI did that." It's very difficult to prove otherwise, and that's the other problem. It's going to put those people who've got that sort of talent. It's going to put them out of business because AI can just you tell it what you want and it'll do it. It'll generate you a 2-hour film if you want.
Yep.
You don't need actors because it generates those as well. So it's interesting stuff if you're using it for the right reasons, like medical reasons and things like that. But yeah, I just feel sorry for kids these days, the younger generation. I really do.
Yeah, like I say, I've got young kids, and it is weird. It is scary because you just, especially like my youngest, she's 9. So by the time she gets to that age, like how much is technology going to advance, and how much is the world going to change by the time she gets to the age where she's got to be making those decisions?
Yeah,
it is scary. Yeah,
it is scary. I mean, scary times anyway, which doesn't help. But yeah, it's I can see why a lot of kids are on the edge all the time. They're literally on the edge, and I can quite easily see why that is. For some reason, we didn't seem to have those pressures when I was young. Maybe our parents thought we had pressures because they didn't. Well, my parents went through wars, so that's a bit pressurized if someone's going to drop a bomb on you. But for the rest of us, when I look back, I didn't have the pressures. The only pressure we had was exam time, sitting exams. By and large. And then it's like everybody, isn't it? You sit your exams and then you wait for your results. So that was pressurized. But otherwise, had a great childhood and a sort of great growing up. No problem at all. I just wish a lot of kids can do the same. I mean, Paul and David. Paul's 29 on Friday, and David's 30 something, 32. I'm just talking to my wife. He's 32. No. Oh, David. Yeah. Yeah. That's the
we
manager
won't tell him.
talking
It's
there.
fine.
So the manager's putting me right because I'm getting.
Yeah.
I'll have a deadline.
Just
Mate.
that.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's all those pressures. It affects the memory. It's fine.
Yeah, well, anyway, David's in Florida, as you know, so
Yes.
I get to see him on FaceTime, but Paul's here, so so that's not so bad. But yeah, I mean, they're of an age where they've kind of gone over that business of trying to grow up and sort of get a job and stuff like that. It's still tough, but not as bad as for some kids. So yeah, the younger generation, those who've just got their A levels over here, you know, I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, look at them on TV, and I'm thinking, well, what are you now going to do? You know, hoping for, what are you actually going to do? It's a shame.
That's the question.
Life should be more pleasant than that.
Absolutely. Hopefully things can get better. We just have to hope and
of
pray.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Absolutely.
I'm sure
Yeah.
they will. Yeah.
You said obviously you used to be your wife's manager, and obviously you worked in some quite top secret sort of. So could you two actually talk about work together without anybody else around?
Well, put it this way: when I worked with my wife, she was a programmer as well. She was a software engineer as well. So where we were working, we weren't working on some of the stuff I worked on later when I left that company.
Okay.
My wife had when my wife left work, she left work. We had David, and then she didn't go back to work, and then we had Paul after that. So I was working, but I left the company I was working for, and it wasn't kind of top secret stuff in those days. And I moved to another company where we were working on more sensitive stuff.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have come home and talked about it.
Okay.
Because we have to sign certain documents because some of the stuff is quite sensitive. Because if you're working in law enforcement, you're working in anti-terrorism, and you're working in aerospace, we're doing a lot of stuff which is, you know, is sensitive, and we can't just be talking to anybody about it. So it was exciting stuff. I have to say, so some of the places I've been to and been in is not normal for a lot of people. So my career, when I left my first employment as a manager, my career became very interesting to the point where I retired. In fact, I didn't retire when I was 65. I retired when I was older because the job was that good.
Fair play.
It's rare to find something that you love doing as well. It's so rare this day and age to like.
Well, I wouldn't say I loved doing it. I think it's going a bit far. I liked it.
Okay.
and it paid me money. So from that point of view, I thought that was great. I could go in and I quite liked what I was doing. I saw some interesting places and people, and they paid me for it. So that was, yeah.
Because he mentioned that his friends were scared of you. He mentioned that they reckoned that you'd probably ended some people.
Somebody else said that to me. Somebody else said to me, one of other David's other friends said to me, or said to David or something, how many people has your dad killed? And I thought, well, it's a question, isn't it? And it's a question you have to answer. I mean, none is the answer. I mean, not unless I've accidentally poisoned somebody to death. I didn't boil the egg properly or something. I don't know. I don't remember running over anybody. So I think this all stemmed from Will, because one day Will's got a brother called Sam, and I didn't know the difference between the two at the time. And Sam was going to come round and pick something up that David had got, and I thought it was Sam, and it wasn't. It was Will. And I opened the door, and I just thought it was Sam. And I just picked it up off the stairs and handed it to him and said, there you go, Sam. And then that was it. And I think Will thought that, well, you know, it's a bit terse, you know, a bit abrupt. And he also saw a photograph of me. We were out holidaying in York, and I was sitting in a chair with a gin and tonic, with a swivel chair, looking like something out of, if I had a white cat, I'd be stroking it. That's the kind of vision I think Will kind of had. I was just missing the white cat, and he thought I was head of the Mafia or something, or Spectre or something like that. And also in the York Museum, Sue had taken a photograph of me holding this rifle, you know, and it was a 303 that had been used in the First World War. It's a museum in York, great museum in York. So Will put this all together, and got the wrong end of the stick completely. So I think he thought I was something that I'm clearly not. But yeah, he's scared stiff for some reason.
That's so funny.
And he's still a little bit sheepish.
Still got that rifle, Tony.
Wish I had it, it'd be worth a fortune.
I know.
It literally was used by a guy in the trenches in the First World War that they got in the museum.
Wow.
Yeah.
York Museum's great. I've been there. Yeah.
You've been there.
Yeah,
I tell
I've
you,
been to your
for
museum.
me, that's one of the best museums ever. That one for me. You know, all about social history and stuff.
Mm.
And the worrying thing is that when you look at some parts of it, I'm thinking to myself, well, we used to have that. You know, and it's not quite 1800s, but I remember that there is one scene over there, one display of a sitting room in the 1950s. And I was saying to Sue, we walked past it, and I said, "Oh, we used to have one of those." And look at that. Well, she's looking slightly worried, but yeah. For me, it's the best museum ever for that one.
It's a great museum.
Yeah. If you talk to David, one of the best museums I ever took David to was down at Brixham, and it looked like a shed, but it was a military museum at Brixham on the cliffs. And we walked in, and it was like walking into a TARDIS. It looked a lot bigger inside than it did on the outside. It literally looked like a shed on the outside, but it seemed to go back for miles. And there, they'd let you pick up all the guns and anything you wanted to pick up, you could. So we were picking up do you know what an MG42 looks like? A German machine gun.
I think so. I'm
It's
not
a massive
100% sure.
machine which fires about 1 million rounds a minute or something. And we were allowed to pick that up and you know just walk around with it. And David said the same thing, because we'd been to Duxford, local to where we are here at Duxford, where we picked up a couple of things. But that was the best military museum I've ever seen. That one, they had everything there, and they let kids just pick it up and, you know, feel it and all the rest of it, which you can't normally do in museums.
Imagine if Will had gone with you, he'd be fucking terrified.
Well, if Will had seen me with that MG42, he probably would have moved. And he moved up to Leicester, probably, I think, to get away from me. He probably would have moved to Scotland.
Because I'm not sure Leicester's any safer. But there we are.
I don't know how much of this you could talk about, but he also mentioned there was a day where you set off all the alarms in the building.
I'm trying to think which alarm that was. Oh, yeah, I can say that it was a government building, and they have certain ways of getting in and getting out, and it's all a bit like a James Bond set at the end of the day. And I accidentally walked into the wrong entrance and set all the alarms off in the building, and the doors closed and I couldn't get out. People were running around, wanted to know who I was, where I come from, and then they let me out eventually. But in fact, I did this. Funny enough, I did a similar thing in America. When I was out in America, they had never seen, in this company we went to, they had never seen a USB stick.
What?
Yeah, amazing. And they were a big radio manufacturer. And we walked in and we bought a USB stick at Heathrow Airport before we flew out, and put some data on it for the company we were going to see. And we walked in and we said, "Oh, we've got a USB stick." And they said, "Well, what's that then?" And we said, anyway, we plugged it into their computer, and all the red lights went on. There was sirens going off. There was large amounts of American heavies running around the building, wanting to know who we were, what we'd done, what we got, where did we get it from. They confiscated it, and they sent it back to the company some weeks later. But yeah, what amazed me was not that so much, is that they'd never seen a USB stick.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And there we were, plugging it into their secret machine.
They must have had USB ports for you to plug it in.
They do. Well, I think what it was, they hadn't seen what we got. They got USB sticks, but I think what we turned up with was something a little bit different because it got a light on it and it got all sorts of data, and it was about, it was almost, I forget what it was, in about 200 gigabytes or something. It was massive, but anyway, it threw them because a lot of people said, "What are you doing there?" So yeah, these are sort of the interesting things that I have set alarms off, and not inadvertently. It's a scary business at some companies. You can get arrested for doing that. But I got out. I was all right.
Well,
I think Will was impressed the fact that I actually got out. I think he thought I was some part of Mission Impossible or something. I managed to break in and break out.
I was gonna say he thought you scaled the ceiling and like climbed out through an air vent or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I think he thinks I've in the garage. I've got some sort of, I don't know, gyrocopter or something, or jet out of the place. Yeah, poor old Will. He's got totally the wrong impression of me. I must take him to one side and slap him or something. Threaten him.
I don't think you're helping. I don't think you're helping with this opinion now.
Probably not. Probably not. I'll probably put a fedora hat on or something, a dark suit and a white tie. That was sorted. See, I'm not sure if he was in that film at the Paul shop because I think the day I appeared, I was actually dressed up as a mobster. So I don't think Will was there that day, but I look the part. So if Will ever got a photo of that, he'd know.
So obviously we were talking about David and Paul's musical endeavors, but you and David have your own musical endeavor with Demand in October, which I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Where did this idea for this father-son band come from?
I don't know. David and I used to jam a bit because I used to play guitar and so did David. So we used to pick up the guitars and I converted the garage here to a music room so they could go in and record music. That was their first kind of recording studio, if you like. So we bought things like there's a thing called Reaper, which is a music thing for recording and playback and editing and stuff like that. Quite old now, but people still use it. So we used to jam a lot, and then David's very good at writing songs, and he came up with an idea, and he said, "Do you fancy singing on it?" So I thought, yeah, well, we'll do that as a bit of a joke. I'll have a go. And we went in the garage, and he'd written the words and everything. He'd written out the music. I don't think I had any involvement in any writing the words or the music. I think I might have come up with a title for the song, "Screaming in the Dark." I think is what I thought the song should be. Anyway, I did my bit, and I think Paul was on it as well, doing his bit, a little bit there. And then David said, "Well, we'll call the band Demand in October, and I'll put it onto Spotify or wherever it was. We'll see how it goes." And then sometime later, I can't remember how long it was, they got me a plaque. Plaque turned up with 10,000 streams or something with my name and stuff on it. I think the manager's gone to get it. I'll show you what it is. But that was the first time that I'd sung with David. David tried to record me a few times on other things, on covers and things. I was doing a Phil Collins thing at one stage because the one thing we do when David's over here, we tended to do karaoke.
Oh wow,
that's awesome!
So that was I think 10,000 streams, but I don't know what it is at the moment. But it's a while ago now.
16,000.
Yeah, is it? Okay.
16,000 now.
That was the first thing, and for me, 10,000 streams was. I didn't think we'd get one. Well, I knew we'd get one because I streamed it, but maybe David would have streamed it. I've been two, but no, the manager didn't do it. But she got better things to do. But the second one we did, which was a thing called. Was it something behind the eyes, wasn't it?
Truth behind the lies.
Truth behind the lies, yeah. Which I did have some input into because we did this in in our dining room. We converted that into a studio. And once when David and his band were rehearsing, I did, while they were just sitting around, I did a bit of screamo, and they said I sound like Rammstein. And David, would you like to do some screamo on this song? And I thought, well, yeah, yes, give it a go. So on the Demanding October, on the truth behind the eyes, lies. I did some of the screamo on that, as well as some of the chorus singing, and then David did the rest. It was David's words. David did all the lyrics and the music, but I think I did some screamo on that at the beginning and somewhere along the way, and that was good fun. And I don't know what that's done on streams. I've not looked. David.
I can have a look. 6,000.
Okay, well that was okay because he didn't actually put that up until late because I think he was editing that at home in Florida at some stage. But when David's over here, myself, the manager, and David, we do karaoke, and we're up until 3 or 4 in the morning doing karaoke. It's great fun. It's great fun. We have drinks.
Love that.
You know. And it's all good stuff. So we do that when he's over here. The other one we did, the wrestling one, because I was interested in wrestling. We want to go back down the wrestling bit. I was interested in wrestling when David was kind of about, well, he would probably have been about 12 or 13, something like 11, 12, 13. And we used to watch it on TV. And we noticed that Butlins down at Minehead, down in Somerset, did a wrestling weekend.
Yes, I remember.
And we went down there. I booked it up. We went down there, and my wife and I were walking round. And I said to her, "Oh, well, they completely transformed this place they called the Skyline, which is the centre part of this Butlins thing. And they put a ring in there and everything. They looked the part. And they completely trashed Butlins to put this ring and everything in all the chairs and stuff like that." And we were walking around during the day, and I said to Sue, I said, "This is going to be one of those things where they have a token wrestler we all know, and everybody else is going to be local." And when we were in the Chalet, we heard them play the Undertaker music. Now, for me, the Undertaker was always my favourite because his entrance, a beautiful, sinister entrance for the Undertaker, loved it. And we heard that, and I thought, well, maybe they're just testing it out or something. I don't think they're going to do that. But actually, it was a brilliant night. The only 2 wrestlers who weren't there, I think, were John Cena and The Rock. Everybody else, The Edge, Batista, I think, was there. Hornswoggle, all of the Undertaker, everybody was there wrestling. It was fantastic, absolute fantastic weekend that was. We had a great time. So that's the era of wrestling that I'm familiar with. I don't know too much about these ones today, although some of these they're still going. Some of them, well, I think some people just retired, haven't they? John Cena retired or something. I don't know. I think the Undertaker's probably dead by now. I don't know. Really dead. I don't know.
He's retired, but he's not dead.
He's not dead. Okay,
He's not dead.
But I bet he knows an Undertaker just in case. But, so I don't know the latest group of wrestlers really, but David said to me, because I know the wrestling themes, and David said to me when I was over in Florida, because I know David was doing all these covers and putting them out onto TikTok and things, and he said, when you come over, why don't we do one of the covers, and you do some of it and I do the other bit. And I said, okay. So we went over there, and in his studio, that's what we did. We did the cover. The band was Papa Roach.
Papa Roach, To Be Loved. What? Yeah. It's a great cover. It's great. I loved it.
Well, we did it, and I thought this has come out quite well. I do like that song because when David was 12, he and Paul and another one of their friends did a carnival thing in where we are in St Neots. And there was it was an August carnival. There's about 5,000 odd people in the thing, and that was one of the things they did. They did Michael Jackson's "Beat It" to start with, and then they did the Papa Roach one. which everybody kind of recognised, and that was their very first major gig, if you like. But yeah, I've always liked Papa Roach. We went to see them in Wolverhampton, Papa Roach. So that was the first gig we ever took the kids to.
That's awesome.
Avenged Sevenfold. We've taken them to those. Seen that one. Dave and I went to see Rammstein at Milton Keynes a few years ago. But yeah, we did it, and then we went off to Dave and Buster's over in America. Do you know Dave and Buster's? You heard of that?
I know
I
of
know
it, but I
the
don't know what
name.
it is.
Yeah.
It's like an upmarket Weatherspoons, but it's got lots of screens around it where you can do sports. In fact, it's very upmarket Weatherspoons. It's a great place because they have take your kids there as well. It's a great place because it's half of it's a fairground, and half of it is a bar with screens absolutely everywhere, showing absolutely everything from baseball through to Premiership football. And we sat in Dave and Buster's, and David was watching the streams going up, and we were watching it, and it was going up, and it hit 10,000 within about half an hour. We were there, something like that. So we had a drink, another drink, and don't know what it is now, but it was going. David said the other day it was about 50 something, 60,000, something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, it was good fun. But yeah, with the technology, couldn't do that when I was a band. By the time you unravelled your magnetic tape and got the thing spinning around in the right order, and then having to sort of do one tape, recording another tape, and bouncing it around. 3 months later, you'd probably bin it. So the technology now, you can just get on there, sing into the thing, and stick it up on TikTok or wherever it goes. It's great. I mean, it's great for kids because it can bring out the talent. Because you've still got to have some talent. It's not going to do everything for you, but you still got to have the talent and use the technology to make sure your talent stands out. That's the way to do it. But it was good fun.
But
good fun.
you mentioned obviously being a wrestling fan, and that's how David got into it. We have to bring up Big Tone Thrombosis.
Well, that's my weekend gear. I don't always dress like that. When we go to Tesco's, I'm there. I don that, and off we go. Scares the living daylights out the checkout people. It's brilliant, especially when I do my stance. When I'm doing that sort of thing.
Yeah,
they can't believe it.
it
was
one thing.
We're not paying at all. There, they just want us out. It's great.
They're not asking for your club card. I'd forget it.
Yeah. Oh no, our club card's been bounced off. They won't. We've lowered the tone of the whole Tesco Express in our place. But yeah, we did that one evening. Can't remember why we did that. To be honest, I did that. The manager, she did her Boston. I think we called her Boston Crab Woman or something. But I forget what it was now. You probably haven't seen that. I don't know if you've seen that. David, I'll show you that photo.
Boston Crab Woman.
I think that's what we did. She was doing a Boston Crab move on a blow-up doll that we had. Yeah, it's not what you think. It's called what's the dude doing or something. It's a thing, the game where you have this thing and you're supposed to you kind of but with a blow-up doll, and you have
I have said that.
So that's what we were doing this, or at least my wife was. So yeah, and I think we called it Boston Crab move. So we called it Boston Crab Woman or something. But that's how we got into that, mysteriously. I think we've been drinking as well.
Phenomenal.
Sure we've been drinking.
The photo is super.
Well, we've had some. I tell you what, we've had some great parties here over the years. We've had some really good parties here, and most of it's down to a wife because she's very good at this. And we do go to town when we have a party. It really does look good. So we were, the last time we dressed up, we were the Beatles, and we dressed up, including Will. Will dressed up as well because I told him to. Otherwise he wouldn't have done. And we dressed up like the Lonely Hearts Club band.
Amazing.
We all dressed up in different. We had wigs and the proper kit, and then we put the bass drum in front of us, and we got the proper logo and everything up on that. and took some photos of that. So so that was the last party we had, because that was my wife's birthday. So we
That's
did
awesome.
we dressed up. But we've had other parties where we dressed up. I had to dress up as Moana. In fact, I have to say, well, you laugh, but actually, I thought I looked quite good. But my next door neighbour was a bit frightened. But I don't think Will was impressed. But and on that one, we actually filled our conservatory with sand and put a tiki bar up in it.
That's dedication to the party. I like that.
It was, yeah. People couldn't believe. I couldn't believe it. Let alone people. My wife said, "We'll put some sand down here," and we had it. We turned it into a sort of a tiki bar. I mean, the weather was all right. We could do it. And it was Paul's birthday. Actually, I don't know what we did that for. But yeah, we've had some great parties. But the Beatles was the last one where I actually dressed up and was able to dress up as a man, as opposed to a woman. I forget what I dressed up. Did I dress up as the other party? What was I? We don't have her. I dressed up as a blonde or something. I can't remember. Didn't look very good. A bit scary, I thought.
It's just an excuse to wear a wig, isn't it? It's just like,
Well, now I've got no hair. It's an excuse to wear. You're right. It's an excuse to put hair on my head. You're right. That's probably why I've lost my hair. I'm wearing too many wigs. I have to say, we have had some great parties, but yeah, the wrestling thing. But as I say, I don't. I've seen a few wrestling things. When David's here, or we're over in Orlando, we'll see some wrestling stuff. Last time we were there, we watched wrestling. It's good. You know, it's good stuff.
good fun. It's
good
great fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, David actually was learning wrestling. He was actually training wrestling over here. That's the other thing. One of the things we let him have a go at if he wanted to. So he spent quite a few weeks going down and doing wrestling, learning how to fall and stuff like that. Bit brutal, because you know they were throwing him around a lot, I have to say.
I've always loved wrestling, but I don't think I could let myself do it. Just like launch myself around and that stuff.
No, it's not something I would normally do. Must admit. Yeah.
I'm happy sat on my sofa watching it. It's easier.
Yeah. Well, even that can be dangerous.
Good point. David did also mention to us, though, that you used to be their tour driver.
Oh yes, indeed I did. Well, we grew up, both my wife and I. We grew up being sort of because Paul and David used to go on tour, and we did go on tour with the Calling. That was the first professional tour we went on.
Amazing.
The American band, and we had a great time. We spent a month touring with them in the UK, and we went to Paris and Marseille with them. Although I didn't drive down there, we went by Eurostar, because driving out in France is difficult. You've got to park it. Because I was driving a thing called a splitter van, which is a massive, great van. Well, over here is okay, but we wouldn't do it in France. But yeah, we drove that all over the UK. That was good fun. They were a nice band, the Calling. They were great people. Yeah. It became more like a family atmosphere, because it was me and my wife. And the funny thing was that people were coming up to us and asking to have our photographs taken. Never mind the band, they were pushed to one side. They wanted to see the people who were. My wife was selling the merch, and I was driving the van and setting up the equipment. But yes, I was a tour driver on other tours as well. So, and setting up the equipment, so unpaid roadies. Yeah, but good fun. It's one of those things that when we came back from the Calling tour, and I was sitting back at work doing interesting things, I was missing the tour. I was getting withdrawal symptoms. Just wanted to be back on the road.
I imagine as a parent, though, like doing that, taking your sons out, watching them perform on stage, and that must have been incredible.
Well, that's what we were saying when we said to people, to our friends and things. They said, "Well, what did you do at the weekend?" I said, "Well, we were in Marseille, watching. We had to get on Eurostar and then beam ourselves back to Paris, because the kids were playing in Paris as well." Their mouths drop open, and they say, "Wow, you're right. As parents, not many parents get to do it, because not many kids would let their parents do it. They'd have a barge pole at least 3 miles long and say, we do at the end of that. Don't get anywhere near our van or our kit and equipment or us." but our kids seem to like it mysteriously.
Because I was wondering if they had to behave themselves because their parents were on tour. But...
No, nobody behaved themselves. We didn't.
I love
Maybe
that.
that's what they liked. The fact that we would, you know, I say we did behave ourselves, but I mean, I think they used to like the family atmosphere because a lot of these, like the calling was saying, if you go on tour with a lot of these really professional people, touring is not a lot of fun actually. If you ask our Paul, our son, who's been on tours all over the place, you know, South America and that, and he's done 8-week tours and things. It's a struggle. After 3 weeks, it can really drain you. And if you ask any musician who's had to go on tour for long periods of time, it's mind-boggling because you don't get to see anyone. The only thing you get to see is the inside of your bus, your hotel, and the stage you're on. You don't get to see the scenery or anything like that.
No.
So it's not what it's cracked up to be. We had fun on the cooling tour because we kind of made it a bit more of a family event. And it was an experience that we all kind of bought into. But it went for a month, so it wasn't too bad. But we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
love that. But like we were saying at the beginning, you know, if you hadn't encouraged them and been like, no, you want to play music, it's great. Let's encourage it, you know, sort of stuff. They wouldn't have got these opportunities. So, you know, it's amazing just to see that as a parent, that just encouraging your kids, you get to see them in their element doing these things, and that's phenomenal. I
I
love
think
that.
it kind of rolls on, doesn't it, from your own parents? I think
Yeah.
from my parents and my wife's parents, Sue's parents. I mean, that you know, they gave us the opportunity to more or less do anything we wanted to do if they could afford it. We could afford it, and that's what we did. So we had the same kind of ethic about things. And also, you kind of look at when we started football. The thing that struck me was the fact that 7-year-olds couldn't play football in this country really because it didn't start until you were about 8 or 9, and they didn't do it at school. So we said to David, "Do you reckon you could?" When he was 7, do you reckon you could pull a team together, or just come down the school? We had an arrangement with the school we could use their playing fields, and then we got everybody together. And we had about 20 odd kids who came down. They were all 7, just kicking a ball around, getting used to kicking a ball around and being a team. And then from then it went on until they were all 16. So it became another one of these things that you know, it evolved. There was no plan to do it for that long. It evolved, and it was good fun when we did it. We had some good times when we did it. But yeah, but that I think it's a case of, well, you do right for your kids at the end of the day. If they want to do it, you let them do it if you can afford it. If it's safe, it's fine. I say if it's safe. I mean, when I was a kid, I mean, some of the things I used to do, I'd be saying to my kids, "Don't do that." You know, curling yourself up in a tractor tire and rolling yourself down a hill. I mean, that was great fun. Used to do that all the time.
Yeah, don't encourage the kids to do it though. No.
And just on the football thing, why Spurs?
Well, to be honest, out of everything that we were going to talk about, I was going to keep that quiet. But yeah, well, to be honest, I'll tell you how I first got into Spurs. It was when I was before I had a brain. It's when I was about it was 1961. I was about 10, something like that, 11, 9, something like that. And in those days, you didn't get football on TV. The only football they ever showed was the cup final. And the cup final in that year was Spurs versus Leicester City. And I liked Spurs' kit. And they won as well. So I thought, I'm going to support them. I could have been worse. I could have supported Leicester. And
They've won the league though, Tone.
I mean, that was absolutely shocking. I supported Spurs, and that's how it came about. You know, sometimes I've gone to a Spurs match to see a fight, and football's broken out. I mean, it's been a complete disappointment. Absolutely, especially when we play Arsenal. Yeah, what a disappointment that day was. But I mean, well, I've taken Sue to see Spurs play because she always laughs when I talk about Spurs. And, But actually, it was a good experience when we went to see them play Man City in the Carabao Cup, and we beat them 2-1 at home. But it was just the atmosphere there, and the fact you can have a meal before. David actually bought it for I think he bought it as a Christmas present for me or a birthday present.
Nice.
It was a really good evening. We had a meal beforehand in a booth and everything. We had our own seat in the stands and stuff. It was a great night, and we won, but unusually.
Yeah, I was gonna
I woke
say.
up next morning thinking it had all been a dream.
You were almost a championship team this season, almost.
Well, to be honest, I would have thought, well, the season tickets would be cheaper.
Are they not?
They're not, well, if they were in the championship, they'd probably be giving them all.
Oh, of course they would have been. Yes. Yeah. Begging on street corners.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's an experience. Sporting Spurs. It is an experience. I've got a friend down here that I see when I take the dog out for a walk on a Monday morning. I walk past his house, and he's as depressed as I am. Yeah, we talk about what happened on Saturday or Sunday, and we're in tears. It's just it's tragedy. But yeah.
I wish you all the best for this year. I think you're going to have a much better year this year, I think.
Yeah, we should come fourth from bottom this year. I'm expecting. Yeah. Well, they played a game. They played a game once where the other team didn't turn up, and it was 20 minutes before we scored.
Oh dear me!
Oh,
Yeah,
superb.
it must be painful.
Do you support anybody?
Yeah, I'm from Aberdeen, so I'm an Aberdeen fan. I know I don't sound Scottish, but I watch Scottish football, so I know nothing, Tony. So I can't give you crap for anything.
Oh, yeah. I've got a relative. I think a cousin or whatever it is. He lives in Aberdeen. He works in Aberdeen.
Oh.
Yeah, Aberdeen. Well, they're all right. They did well this year, didn't they?
No,
Oh.
no, we didn't.
Oh, did you not?
No, I think we finished third or fourth from bottom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, poor year.
Oh, well, you know how I felt then.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah,
So you've got some sympathy with me. And
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I can relate, Tony. I can relate.
Absolutely. Yeah. What about you, Jamie?
I don't really follow it, but when I was a kid, I was a Villa fan. So again, I can't say nothing really, can I?
No. Well, they're like an ice cream, aren't they?
They're like an ice cream.
Well, Aston Vanilla, is it? I don't know.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, they're better than Spurs. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they are. They're playing European football this season, so
I haven't got a clue. Oh, absolutely love it, Tony. This has been so much fun. But before we do let you get out of it, obviously, big part of this conversation has been family.
Yep.
So when you look back at everything you've done, these weird twists and turns, these jobs you can't talk about, your musical endeavors and everything like that, what are you most proud of? What are those moments in life you go, yeah, that was a good day? Like,
what am I most proud of? Well, the management is pointing to herself here. And I have to say that was probably one of the best days of my life. I'm proud there. Proud to have survived 30 years. And I probably will do the sealant around the bath at some 30 years. But what am I proud of? Well, I tell you what I am proud of. I'm proud of my kids.
Yeah,
I'm proud of what they've done, and I'm proud that we managed to, let them do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes, and you can advise, and we all make mistakes, and you advise. Kids take it on board or they don't, but that's the way you grow up. You learn by mistakes. Normally I used to have this thing about if I hadn't made any mistakes by 10 o'clock in the morning, I probably hadn't got up yet. So it was that kind of thing. Right. So I always say, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Do what you need to do. If you make mistakes, you learn from them. But I think they're the proudest things, really, that we've managed to bring up two kids who are on the rails. They do good stuff. They're in a difficult business. Entertainment is a difficult business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes I sometimes think the music business and payment of staff and payment of the talent is a scam because the talent don't get the money they deserve. It's all the hangers-on who seem to get the money, if you get the money at all, because there are all sorts of scammers out there who won't pay you your royalties and stuff like that. It's a very, very hard business. It's demoralising, particularly those who've got a lot of talent. And you think some of these people would be millionaires by now, and they're clearly not. But yeah, proud to have kind of. I mean, I never went to university, but proud to have made something of myself that got me into sort of high places that other people never got a chance to, or would never get a chance to see by my own sort of endeavours, really. But yeah, getting married was great. It was good. It's good because my wife has got the same ethic I have.
Yeah.
And give the kids a chance, and let's look after. It doesn't matter how old they are. Let's look after them. We still are looking after them.
Absolutely.
And that's good as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, they're probably the proudest things, I think, to be honest.
Amazing.
Yeah, we've had a good life, and it's not over yet. I mean, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, but what's it, 9 o'clock? So I've done well. Every morning I wake up, I think that's a bonus. That's good. Trouble is, I might have to put the sealant around the bath today. It's starting to become a bind now. I must buy some sealant actually, just in case. There's going to come a time where all of a sudden my washing doesn't get done and I'm not getting paid.
The manager's just going to follow you around. I really should do the bathroom sealant, shouldn't I?
There'll come a day where it dawns on me. In fact, that will be on my. There's numerous things I could have on my gravestone. Things like, well, I told you I was ill. That's one I'd have on my gravestone. Or just bugger. Here lies Tony B. in his last words of a bugger. Or I really should have bought some sealant. Can't think of anything else suitable for my gravestone, to be honest. Could be one of those.
We'll name the interview. I really should have bought some sealant.
Well, that's right. That's because that's the one thing I'm probably not proud of.
Oh, Tony, this has been so much fun. We've really appreciate you taking the time out and chatting to us
thank
today.
you.
It's been amazing.
It's been a good laugh. I hope you got whatever you wanted.
Oh, and more.
And more, yeah. Like I say, David and Will just talked about you being an absolute legend, and we were like, we've got to talk to this man.
Well,
And-
Yeah, 100%.
Do they mean legend or do they mean legend? I mean, I'm never sure what a legend in my own lunchtime or something. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
It's fair, I think Will was just talking because he was too scared to say anything bad, but we're not sure. We're not.
No, they've probably just been drinking. Yeah.
Tony, seriously though, we massively appreciate your time. I really, really enjoyed talking to you. I do generally wish you all the best for this season, football-wise, and I also hope that you manage to get the bathroom done at some point.
Well, I think we've got more chance of getting the sealant done than we have of winning the Premiership. But I'll give it my best shot.
But literally have the wonderful rest of your evening. Hopefully we get to do this again sometime. It'd be great to catch up sometime in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whenever you like. Yeah, just arrange it with David. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I will do.
We'll
Thank
talk
you
to you
so
for
much.
Okay.
Yeah. Or the manager.
Oh, man.
And the manager. Get the manager on the board. Yeah, she'll tell you all about the days where David is born, because that's just another complete story. You could almost take half an hour up just with that.
Oh, now we're intrigued.
Yeah, I know.
Well, next time you do it, we'll go through that. The days the kids were born.
Part two, David's
sort of.
birth.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Tony, thank you so much. This has been
That's
incredible.
okay. Okay, you take care, both.
Take care.
See you later, my friend. Take care. See you
Yeah,
later.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
How I got